All right, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with game number 2 of this series between Zero and Bisu. Bisu's going to be the green Protoss player, in case you are not aware of Bisu. And Zero's going to be the blue Zerg player over here on the right side. And I realized it's interesting that I did this the first game. I just noticed I didn't really talk much about these players like I have been with all of my other games. You know, I've been talking about these older players because I feel like people might not have heard of them. But these guys are both still playing. So that's why I kind of assumed that people might know who they are. But I will give a little bit of background on these guys real quick. So I'll start with Bisu, I guess, since he happens to be on my screen at this moment. And that's good enough reason, I guess, as any. So Bisu, if you don't know who Bisu is, I'm going to be quick because I think most people probably do. But Bisu is one of probably the top Protoss players of all time, like objectively speaking. Not necessarily like, you know, better in his time than Nalra was in his time kind of a thing. But as far as like overall top gameplay of all time, Bisu is one of the top, I'm going to say top 3 Protoss of all time. All time. One of the 6 dragons, but definitely one of the top 3 of those dragons as well. And really, really strong player who basically came on the scene by destroying Savior. Savior was the Zerg who was dominant for 2005-6, I think, if I remember correctly. And Bisu was the first Protoss to take him out. You know, Savior was not undefeatable or anything like that, but his versus Protoss play was amazing, and Bisu kind of invented a new way of playing against him and defeated him in a finals a long time ago. I think that was 2006 when that happened. But in any case, so Bisu, very, very strong player and kind of famous for changing the way Protoss was played versus Zerg. So Zero. And he's got a number of championships under his belt, of course, in case you weren't aware of that. And this is the Forge Fast Expand is kind of the thing that, you know, was called the Bisu build for a while because, or a variation of it was called the Bisu build because he kind of came up with that. So we're seeing him continue to do it. And this game was played in 2014, and it's pretty much still standard play versus Zerg these days as well. Zero, on the other hand, is a very interesting player. He was really strong for a while. He was like one of the players that you could always count on to be in the tournaments, and he would get pretty far. He would get to the semifinals, you know, relatively often. In like the later, you know, like 2009, 8, 9, 10, I guess. So he was like one of the strong players during that period, and he's still strong to this day. But during that period, he was like, you know, not really a championship winner though. And in fact, he was in the semifinals. He lost in this just epic comeback defeat by Zhangbi in the semifinals of the last OSL, the last Brood War OSL, which I got to cast, by the way. And if you want to have nerd chills like nothing else, there's a video that I had. I was in the studio. I was in the OSL studio during that game, and I watched Zhangbi pull off that comeback and defeat Zero, and the crowd just erupted. It was absolutely insane. I've watched it 20 times, and I was there, and every single time I get nerd chills. I'm gonna put a little card on the YouTube video if you want to watch that right now, because it was epic. But point being, even at the end of the OSL, you know, Zero was top player, getting to the semifinals, almost getting to that finals to play against Fantasy at the end, but not quite. So in any case, I'm not talking about the builds because they're pretty normal stuff going on here. You know, Forge Fast Expand, we're probably going to see... Oh, there it is already. Sorry, I didn't even notice that he built his 3rd already. I was like, it's so odd that he hasn't built his 3rd base yet. Oh, it's because he has. Zealot running across the map to that 3rd base. Really interesting. Nice play. Well, not super interesting, I guess, but it's gonna be interesting for Zero to deal with. And of course, he's running Zerglings across the map. They're not going to really do anything, only the 6 of them without the speed upgrade. But they're just going to be able to come up here to the front door and say, hey, peekaboo, I've got Zerglings, you have to defend, you have to be scared just in case I run by. And he actually is going to run by with those Zerglings. Nice! Whoa! Super, super, super quick clutch block there by that Zealot and the probes. Wow, that actually could have been pretty decently bad. he wouldn't have come in here and attacked the cannon, of course. He would have run into the main and just been able to cause a lot of disruption. And crucially, would have been able to get a scout in as well. The Stargate with the Corsair building is, of course, pretty standard. But he's also seen the weapons upgrade on those Corsairs, which is an indication that he's not going to stop with just the one Corsair for scouting. He's actually going to invest in Corsairs and, again, try and take control of the air like we did in the last game. So we're going to see if Zero is going to be able to adapt and do things a little bit differently than he did in the last game. Zero this time playing a little bit less defensively, getting a 4th hatchery here. Well, I mean, we could still see him build some defenses, actually, so it's not quite, I shouldn't say that yet. And he is going to have to worry about that pretty soon. Once Bisu gets more Zealots in play, he's going to have to worry a little bit about it. But we do see that Spire, so he's going to be able to make Scourge to try and fend things off. And actually, there's a fair number of Zerglings here at the front door. And he's just checking, says, nope, door is closed, it's locked. I forgot my lockpicks at home. Hydralisks are the lockpicks, by the way. And so I'm going to have to chill out. And here we have, actually, so he is making that SimCity I was talking about before that he made last time. Getting the kind of buildings in the way so he can put Sunkens behind it. And same thing over here. Beautiful, beautiful SimCity. Absolutely gorgeous. He's getting a 5th hatchery, by the way. 5 hatcheries. Very nice. Yeah, already shifting to those Hydralisks. And it looks like he's just kind of made a couple Scourge to run around and chill and do some scouting and try and pick off Corsairs. Is he going to try and pick off the single No, he's only 2 Corsairs. 3 Corsairs. He's going to get one of them, though. Nope. It's able to juke away those Scourge. They always kind of pause when they're targeted. They have this moment where they pause, and they're like, wait, am I supposed to... Oh, yeah, okay. And then they go after... Oh, and he... Oh! Doesn't quite get both of them landing on one of them. So Scourge dying for no damage. We've got, it landed on this Corsair. It looks like took some damage, but both did not, and so it didn't actually kill that Corsair. So the Corsair count getting up decently. Looks like he's got 4 or 5 now, so that's plenty. And oh, did he actually do damage with that one? It looks like no. So this is what I was talking about before. Does he have the weapons upgrade? He does have the weapons upgrade as well. Today I learned that the Corsair weapons are called neutron flare. Sorry. Going in for a little bit of an attack here. I think this is going to be defended, but there are a lot of Zealots, and there's no Sunken Colony back here. One sunk would be a really, really huge deal. Does he have a Sunken Colony over here? One Sunken Colony there as well, and Hydralisks to boot, so I think he's going to be safe at both locations. So Bisu pushing out with a little force just to harass, and it's not going to accomplish too much, though. These Corsairs, though, are getting up in number. I think he's adding a 6th. Yeah, 6 Corsairs. So the air superiority is going to be a huge deal. And look, this is actually interesting. He goes in, the Hydralists targeting the Corsairs, so they're not actually targeting the Zealots. This is not a good situation for Zero. He's going to lose this Sunken Colony. All the Hydralists are occupied with the Zealots, and so the Corsairs are able to kill off the Overlords as well. And a huge, huge amount of damage going on here for Bisu. Well, the damage is being done to Zero. And he also gets up in here and just sees, okay, well, there's no 4th base in here either. Corsairs continue to go around and harass. He's got he's got a DT on the map as well. And this is why we saw the Spore Colony with the Sunken before, because obviously the Overlords are not safe in this situation. And Corsair DT is a huge, huge problem for Zerg. The Corsairs kill the Overlords, the DTs kill the ground units because the Overlords can't see anything because they're not there, because they're dead. And this, he killed off a Hydralisk, and does he notice that? Yes, he did. He did. So he's going to be safe right now. Again, it might have been different if those Corsairs had been going in and killing those Overlords, or if he had the Zealots or whatever. Okay, here's the lockpick that I was talking about. Hydralisk going to work on this front door. They're going to probably be able to kill off this gateway. Well, maybe not. He's going in with some Zealots to do some damage, sacrificing some Zealots or hit points on the Zealots in order to save the gateway to make more Zealots. And these Templar, does he have Psionic Storm upgraded? I cannot tell. There he does. Okay, now I can tell. Gets out a Storm. Only kills a couple Hydras with that Storm, though. I don't know if that was the best use of that Storm, since he has enough Zealots to kind of deal with those Hydras right now. The threat of Storm is sometimes even more effective than the actual Storm itself. So, anyway, he did save that DT, and it's kind of running around the map, just kind of getting free kills as things rally across the map. I don't know if he has Overlord speed yet, but he needs to get that, because he needs to be accompanying these units with detection. Otherwise, they're just going to be, as we can see, slowly picked off by this Dark Templar. He's got 3 kills so far. More Scourge in the air. Now, I wonder if we're going to... I hope we don't see him make more Mutalisks, because it just didn't work last time. And these are 7 +1 upgraded Corsairs. So they are going to be able to do a significant amount of damage. You know, well, we can just count 7 times 6. What is that, like 100 million damage, I think, per shot against Mutalisks. So not a good situation for Zero if he tries to take the air, but instead going with the Lurkers. I think this is a really good choice. A couple Lurkers mixed in are going to be really effective against these mass Zealots that we're seeing here. And he is basically going Zealot Templar. And of course, after those Templar cast some Storms, they're going to be turning into Archons as well, which is going to be helpful to anti-air as well. Here we go. Zero moving in here for a little bit of attack possibly. If there's no observers in the air, and I don't see... Okay, there's an observer actually, just as I was wondering if he was going to have them. And it's going to be hard for him to take out those observers, because he's going to need to get control of the air, to get his overlords, to see the observers, to kill them with the Hydralisks, and that's not going to happen with those Corsairs in the area. Well, not going to happen, I guess, because the Corsairs are going to have to deal with the Hydralisks as well. But I feel like it's going to be hard for him to kill those observers. Here comes the Zealots coming in here, attacking those Lurkers. A nice storm on one of them. He spaced them out really well, but it's just too many forces on the ground, not enough Hydralisks to support. The storms are going to scare them away as well. So just not a good situation here for Zero. He's going to have to macro up more. This 4th base is a really good, crucial add-on for Zero. And really good to see that. And basically, yeah, I mean, he's going to have to just try and out-macro Bisu. But Bisu now getting a 4th base as well. Bisu is out-iconing the Zerg at this point. And that is not a good situation if you're the Zerg. You know, I mentioned before that Zero is one of my favorite players, and so I'm sorry if I'm a little bit biased against Bisu in this matchup. I'm a Bisu fan too, I guess, but Zero's my home skillet, man. So I'm kind of rooting for him, I have to admit. But in any case, Zero does have good defenses at all of his bases. He's gonna morph some Sunks as well to go with this Spore. I feel like he needs to be taking another base in this situation. Well, he either needs to take another base or he needs to kill this base of Bisu's. And here we go, Bisu moving in for an attack. He's got his Lurkers spread out beautifully, and that's going to be really, really effective. This Spore colony is also going to be really effective, keeping those observers away so that the units can't actually come in and attack. So the natural is safe. Too many Lurkers and Sunks and static defenses and everything. The natural is safe. His 3rd base, which is also protecting his 4th, is also pretty safe. Look at all these Lurkers. These Sunkens are going to come in time. So very, very nice defensive situation here. Storm in that bridge where he knew those Hydras are going to go. Gets a few kills. And he still has a few storms to spare as well. Let's look at the energy. Oh, yeah, he's got a lot of energy on these Templar. He's got like 6 or 8 storms in the bank right now. So, yeah, Mass Hydra is not going to be the best thing. Now, Zero, of course, he can kind of defend himself in his base here. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the... Which tab is it? Is it that shows the supply? Not production. Is it this one? Statistics? Yes, statistics. So, yeah, Bisu even has more supply right now, actually. It's 160 to 120. So that is pretty significant. It looks like there's no income tab in this, like there is in StarCraft 2, so we can't see that exactly. But so we're basically seeing Zero having to be a little bit defensive because he's got a lower supply count, so he kind of has to play defense. And these Lurkers are not spaced out as much, but they are in. I mean, obviously, if they're not spaced out as much, it's better against the Zealots. So you know, it's kind of a trade-off. Bisu, however, has been transitioning into mostly Dragoons at this stage. Which is going to mean the Zerglings are going to be really effective as well. Storms coming in. He's focusing the Storms on the Lurkers in order to try and take them out, which is going to make the Mass Hydras more effective. He can bring them in from the side, and he's going to try and maybe do a sandwich here. Nope. Okay, nice dodge of the Storm. The Storm goes off, but he is able to escape that. Zero multitasking very well, attacking on either side. Both directions. Bisu having to defend his death ball of units from both sides. He's added in even more Templar, by the way. So he's looking really strong. He's got just basically storms for days. And here we come in. He's having to defend. Bisu's going in on this attack. A storm on the Zerglings in the front. A storm on one of the lurkers in the back. Not the most effective storm, but he has them to spare. Pushing in and killing off these static defenses as well. Zero needs to do something, and he just doesn't have the unit count in the vicinity. He's rallying in units from all of his bases right now. Zerglings coming in, able to get in amongst those Dragoons. And Zerglings against Dragoons can be very effective, but he just doesn't have the unit count at this point. His units are all spread out across the map. He's pulled up his defensive lurkers from the bottom of the map and brought them up to the top as well. Oh no, no! Oh no! He clumped up a lot of his lurkers and is able to pull some of them out there, but he's losing so many lurkers in this situation. Bisu, however, is down to just a handful of storms left. It looks like he's got 3 or 4, yeah, only actually 2 storms in the bank right now. So that is, he's going to have more in about 15 seconds as those other Templar build up their energy, though. So this is still not looking good for Zero. He's trying to rally units across the map from 5 hatcheries, though. Zerg, this is what Zerg does best, is just have tons of production and tons of units streaming across the map, but unfortunately he's just not able to get a surround on Bisu. Bisu picking these choke points here and really dodging deftly in and out. And look at this, here we go, the Zerglings are now able to get in amongst them. The storms have run out, and now finally, without any, oh no, actually he was staving a storm for those lurkers, which is actually probably a better use of the storm with those zealots to protect. Is he out of storms yet? He's just got one more, and now he's going to morph into Archons with all of his Templar. The other Templar is going to go down. Is this the chance for Zero to come back in this? He doesn't have to worry about storms. He can clump up his lurkers and his units and just go for an attack. He's able to kill off a lot of Dragoons, and that might be the turnaround that Zero needed, because without those Dragoons to back him up, and these Corsairs kind of doing nothing, by the way, a little bit ineffective of Bisu. He could have been hunting Overlords or at least attacking with them to try and draw fire from the Hydralisks, soak up damage. And these last Zealots are going to come in here. Now, if Bisu could take out this base with these Zealots, it will counteract a lot of the damage that he suffered by losing all those units, but it looks like he's going to just have a bunch of units on the ramp to stop him from escaping. Lurkers are going to burrow right in amongst them, and those Zealots are going to die. They are going to get sandwiched, and now the Corsairs come in here just to get free damage on them, down to 6, maybe even kind of 5.5, because that one's going to die very quickly, the one that I didn't click on. Defilers are out now. What? Defilers? Did he? Okay, well, that's interesting. I wonder if he, okay, he's researching, wow, that's really interesting. He's getting Defilers. I actually don't know what this icon is. That's why I hesitated. That's kind of weird. It doesn't look like Plague. It doesn't look like this. Maybe it's this. Oh, it must be his Dark Swarm. Okay. I mean, it didn't look like Swarm to me, but then I realized it was like a shape with a thing in it. And now I'm pretty sure that he was researching Dark Swarm. So this is going to be cool, because the thing is Zealots are still able to operate under Dark Swarm as well, and Storm for that matter, but the Lurkers get their full attack splash under there as well. So Dark Swarm is going to be really effective, again, especially if there's Dragoons and Archons and what have you. It's going to be very effective against them. Bisu, though, a macro beast, has built up a significant army. He's now streaming across the map. Reavers are in play as well, and they are much faster at recuperating their splash damage than High Templar are. This is not a good situation at all. You can see Zero streaming his units across the map. Is he going to be able to pick off some of these Templar in the back with his units? He's burrowing on one side of the ramp, so we've got a little bit of a sandwich here. Bisu needs to win with this attack, basically. Otherwise, he's not going to get out alive with these Lurkers in the back. Actually, this Lurker's taking a lot of damage, though. Then it looks like... Oh, and there's the Plague! He did research Plague. And, of course, he researched Plague because Dark Swarm is standard on Defilers, and you don't have to research it, so I'm just a noob. I'm sorry about that miscommunication. And this is a tactic that I am very familiar with. The last ditch, trying to make sunken colonies in your extra base before the army kills off your natural and gets in there, but I don't think it's going to be fast enough, and it looks like it's going to be too little too late. And wow, this is not looking good for Zero. There's only a couple, no, there's a good enough amount of Zealots there that these Zerglings are not going to be effective at all, and there's no Lurkers either. And Bisu has now taken another base. We did see that he finished off this base with the Swarms and the Lurkers, but Bisu's taken this side base at the same time, and it's just not looking good for Zero. Now, of course, Zero has taken a hatchery here and a hatchery here, but we can see that he's not actually mining at either of those hatcheries. So, not a good situation at all. He wasn't able to salvage the drones in this base at all. So Zero not in good standing. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this back if I can remember which one it was. I don't know the tabs. Yeah, 50 supply. There's the GG. Zero leaves the game, and Bisu's gonna take the victory as well. So nicely done by Bisu. Nicely done by Bisu. And a little disappointed. I thought that Zero was maybe going to pull it off there for a bit. He was defending really well, and there was just this moment. I think this is the crucial moment. This is the deciding moment of the game where Bisu had his army, and he was kind of dancing back and forth between here and up here and down here, and Zero was just doing a really good job of trying to dance around, but he just didn't have quite the same economy and production, and he had his units spread out, unfortunately, because he was having to defend down here in this natural with half of his army, because he didn't know if there was going to be a zealot run by or something like that. And unfortunately wasn't able to, and he was teasing out the storms slowly and steadily as well, but then once he'd finally finished off all of those storms and he killed off that army, it was kind of too late, and Bisu had already built up too much of an economy and too much production. You know, we can see a ton of gateways back here, and Bisu was just able to macro out of it and do too much damage. And wow, look at it, he still had some stormers over here. In any case, well played though by Bisu, and again, this is the only these two replays available, so sorry I don't have any more, but I will try to, if I can find them on YouTube or somewhere else, I'll either put a thing at the end of this video that will link to more VODs, or if I can't find them on YouTube, I will try and put some links in the description if I can find them. I looked before briefly and I didn't see them, but I'll look again before I upload this. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. GG, and please don't tell anyone that I forgot about Dark Swarm, because that's embarrassing. But you know what? I don't give a crap. I'm not gonna like cut it out or anything like that, because hopefully it's just funny. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.